The influence of Native American governance on the U.S. Constitution. When the framers of the U.S. Constitution gathered in 1787, they lacked modern, democratic models in Europe to emulate. The most democratic systems they had encountered were those of Native American nations, notably the Iroquois Confederacy. Historians argue that this confederacy significantly influenced the U.S. Constitution. Evidence of this influence is found in John Adams, which the delegates used during the convention. The handbook, which surveyed various types of governments, included not only European philosophers like John Locke and Montesquieu, but also the Iroquois Confederacy and other indigenous governments. Kirk Kickingbird, a Kiowa tribe lawyer, notes that the U.S. had trade and diplomatic relationships with native governments. Thus the framers were likely familiar with native political systems. The Cherokee chiefs dined with Thomas Jefferson's father, and there was regular interaction between the Delaware, the Iroquois, and other tribes in Philadelphia. Similarities and differences between the Iroquois Confederacy and the U.S. Constitution. While the Iroquois Confederacy wasn't an exact model for the U.S. Constitution, it provided a real-life example of federalism. The Confederacy, founded by the Great Peacemaker, united the Mohawks, Onondaga, Oneida and Seneca nations, with the Tuscarora joining later. This multi-state government allowed each nation to maintain its governance while uniting for mutual defense and foreign affairs. Donald A. Grind, Jr., a professor and member of the Iroquois Nation, highlights how the Iroquois Confederacy influenced the ideas of federalism. The Confederacy's chiefs were hereditary rulers, which the framers sought to avoid, but they admired how the Confederacy enabled sovereignty over a vast area. This aspect of governance was absent in European models. Congress recognizes Iroquois influence despite admiring native governments. Many framers viewed native people as inferior. Benjamin Franklin's 1751 letter expresses that the ignorant savages of the Iroquois could form a lasting union. Questioning why a similar union was impossible for the English colonies, this biased view contributed to the obscurity of the framers' interest in native governance. However, public awareness of this connection increased. Around the Constitution's bicentennial in 1987, Oren Lyons, an Iroquois faithkeeper, and Grind testified before the Senate Select Committee on Indian Affairs about this influence. Their efforts led to a 1988 resolution by Congress acknowledging the Iroquois Confederacy's influence on the U.S. Constitution. The resolution also reaffirmed the government-to-government relationship between Indian tribes and the U.S., recognizing the legitimacy and sovereignty of native nations. The framers of the U.S. Constitution were inspired by the Iroquois Confederacy's federalist principles. Although the framers often viewed native people as inferior, they saw value in the governance structures of Native American nations. This recognition by Congress in 1988 highlights the significant yet often overlooked influence of Native American governments on the U.S. Constitution.